Welcome back. This is part 4 in a 10-part series for authors. My name is Latasha L.T. Jimerson. I'm an author, teacher, book coach, and motivational speaker. I'm also a retreat host for authors who want to write your book and travel the world and go on vacation with us. We'll talk a little bit about that later towards the end of the 10-part series. What I want to talk about today is overcoming writer's block. All right. Overcoming writer's block is so important that I really, really, really want to dig deep, and I want to give you some tips and strategies on how to do this, because once you overcome writer's block, you will be able to get into the flow state anytime you want to. Okay. So what does it look like? What does writer's block look like? It looks like this, right? You've ever seen a picture of somebody that has all kinds of papers all around their desk? You ever seen that? Have you ever done that? Written something out and then you're like, I don't like this. I'm crumpling it up and I'm throwing it in the trash, right? Something happens when you start writing and then your mind starts to drift and you get distracted and start thinking about other things, right? This happens especially if you have gone through any type of trauma or if you've had any kind of negativity happen in your life. We've all experienced some kind of trauma, right? Just being a human being is traumatic, right? Sometimes just getting from one day to the next is traumatic. So what happens in your mind while you're writing? You get into this flow and you start getting excited and you start really seeing the future. You start looking at what you're writing and you start becoming confident in your writing because you're like, ooh, look at how much I've written. You look at the page and you're like, it's all filled up, right? Or you might have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 pages and be like, yay, this is great. And then all of a sudden, something pops into your mind and interrupts you. Now, the seasoned writer won't allow anything to interrupt them. Notice I have these on today. This is a way of me creating a boundary between myself and the rest of the world. This is a very easy, quick boundary for you to create and for you to minimize distractions. Writer's block is caused by you allowing yourself to be distracted. And the reason why you allow yourself to be distracted is because somewhere in your mind, there is a wall. There is an upper limit. If you read the book, The Big Leap, which is a really great professional development book, it talks about this upper limit. And so when you get into a flow and you really start writing and your imagination is going wild, there's a part of you that stops because imagination going wild is not encouraged for adults. And sometimes it's not even encouraged for kids. So you might start writing and then you get into a flow. And then it's all like just coming out and you're just like so excited. And then it stops because you're reminded of something that is painful. You're reminded of something that hurts. And you don't want to be near pain. Your brain doesn't want pain. So your mind stops you from flowing. And you end up rereading and re-editing and doing this to your paper because you're like, you know what? Maybe I was wrong. My writing is not that good. Maybe I need to start all over again. And you start overthinking and overanalyzing and getting into your brain. This is where you have to get out of your brain, open up the page, and give it to someone else to read it. And have them echo back to you what it is that they think your message is. Okay? Some of you will do it. Most of you won't do it because you're taking a risk by allowing other people to read your work. Some of us have been traumatized by someone else using our words against us. That happens all the time. You write something, it might be a love letter, you give it to someone you like, or you give it to a friend, and then they come back later on and they use the words that you used in that letter to make fun of you, or to argue against you, or just whatever it is. They use your words for something negative, for a negative reason. That memory is going to pop up every time you try to get into a flow state. So, number one, I want you to recognize when this is happening. Okay, recognize when you're overthinking and you're allowing yourself to be distracted. Number two, allow someone else to read what you wrote and give you feedback. And then once they give you feedback, then go back and revisit and maybe rewrite. Okay? Those are your tips for overcoming writer's block. It is all about you getting back into that flow state and not allowing those distractions to stop you. Okay? Think of it as this. It's okay to take a pause, but go back to your writing. Okay? It's okay to take a break, take a nap, get some water, but always go back to your writing, because writers need to write and authors need to author. Okay. And we're going to talk about that more in the next video. All right. Have a great day. Bye.